Topping today's news, over 200 national heroes that helped to build the country are honored. The Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister react to the latest U.S. travel warning issued for the Bahamas. The Commissioner of Police addresses the continued high rate of murders, and the National Security Minister to meet with the magistrates with the aim of speeding up the judicial process to help in the fight against crime. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jareno Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Hundreds of Bahamians gathered in the Bahama Convention Center at the resort on Monday for the National Honor Ceremony in recognition of National Heroes Day. Over 200 Bahamians were presented with honors, including clergymen, former politicians, activists, and retired commissioners of police. Prime Minister Philip Davis, while giving the keynote address, noted that each honoree has a unique and important story that is mixed into the fabric of the Bahamian history.
These 200 Bahamians honored today represent but a small fraction of those who have lent their strength to the building of this great nation. These women and men truly embody the good, the righteous, and the worthy. Some of them, like the 4 brave Marines who lost their lives working in defense of the fledgling Bahamas 42 years ago, serve as enduring reminders of the courage, tenacity, and fortitude that make a hero. These honorees stand as stalwart pillars of our community, and today we lift them up in the highest gesture of gratitude. Our honorees today include leaders across the swath of public profession, from business to tourism, healthcare, public administration, and politics. Some of them affect social change through public community and social advocacy, while others work quietly, changing lives one person at a time. What they all have in common, however, is a staunch commitment to positive action and a selfless attitude in the pursuit of better.
The honorees were separated in the categories of the Order of Bahamas, which is the highest civilian honor, the Honor of Distinction, and the Honor of Merit. Those who receive the companion title added to their name will be known or referred to as the Right Honorable for life. Chairman of the National Honors Advisory Committee, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell, stressed the importance of highlighting those who work hard to make the Bahamas what it is today.
As we are building our nation, as we are filling out who we are as a people, there's a constant struggle to define who we are. And part of defining who we are is to let those know who live today that history didn't begin on the day they were born, that there were people here before them who made a contribution to make it possible for them to have all the things they have today. But thank you all for being here. Thank you again for the sacrifices that you've made, for the contribution you've made for the country. And I hope that you feel as proudly as I do at this moment in time for the best little nation on earth, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Meanwhile, a crime against a Bahamian is horrific. A crime against a tourist is simply a stupid thing to do, according to Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, when asked about the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association President Robert Sands, stating that the high level of crime in the country could affect the Bahamas' most profitable industry, tourism. The Deputy Prime Minister says any crime in the Bahamas is bad for the country and its tourism product, adding that Bahamian people must do all they can as a nation to manage the issue by assisting police with their investigations and settling grievances in a civil manner.
The travel advisory removed some of the health concerns as it relates to COVID. The report basically says exercise common sense precautions, the same precautions you would exercise at home. It is not a more severe advisory. It does not say do not travel. It simply says exercise your usual sensible precautions.
Minister Cooper's comments came in the wake of tourism stakeholders recently speaking out about the Bahamas remaining at a level 2 travel advisory by the United States Department with an exercise increased caution designation, which the Hotel and Tourism Association feels is unfortunate. Deputy Prime Minister Cooper says there's been a clear misconception and that the Bahamas hasn't been downgraded, having been at level 2 for quite some time.
The travel advisory removed some of the health concerns as it relates to COVID. The report basically says exercise common sense precautions, the same precautions you would exercise at home. It is not a more severe advisory. It does not say do not travel. It simply says exercise your usual sensible precautions.
The minister responsible for tourism says he is satisfied that the travel advisory does not raise alarm for travelers to the Bahamas, further explaining that the advisory recognizes that the crime problem is mainly centered in the capital and other islands do not share the same issue.
So notwithstanding that this level 2 has been in place for quite some time and hasn't been escalated, they make reference only to New Providence and Paradise Island. We have 14 other destinations. And had they been rated differently, I would imagine that all of the others would be level 1 or not even rated at all. So the fact of the matter is that, there are criminal elements in pockets in our community, but we have 16 island destinations, and this is what we send to the world as the message of what we have to offer.
The U.S. State Department's reissued advisory on the Bahamas, released on Wednesday, October 5th, warns Americans traveling to the Bahamas, particularly New Providence and Grand Bahama, of gang-on-gang violence, burglaries, armed robberies, and sexual assaults. It further warns against commercial recreational watercraft, including water tours, due to them not being consistently regulated, as well as short-term vacation rental properties where private security companies do not have a presence. As the nation continues to struggle with a rising crime statistic and differing opinions on whether we are facing a crime crisis or not, Prime Minister Philip Davis and the Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando appear to be on the same page as they react to the latest wave of criminal activity. Our Destiny Johnson has more in this next report.
While there have been 6 homicides in the country within the last week, 3 of them on Friday just 12 hours apart, and with the murder count nearing the 110 mark, Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando says the country is not in a crime crisis, but police are concerned because young men are being killed on both sides of the law. Police, however, according to the top cop, are making progress.
Based on the 6 recent murders, we are following significant leads in them. You would have seen some people of interest, some wanted posters that are out for various matters, and we asking members of the public if they have any information on these individuals to please reach out to us. We continue to be committed to the Bahamian people. Officers are on the ground. As you note in recent time, the crime report, we continue to arrest and bring individuals into custody who are found in possession of unlicensed firearm, and they are being put before the court.
Commissioner Fernando goes on to say that he is disappointed that the murder count has surpassed the 100 mark, but contends that police cannot stop every murder. He says though the main goal is to keep the Bahamian public safe, and in order to prevent more murders from happening, officers have continued to patrol the hot spots.
We're not going to stop all, we can try, but we won't be able to stop all the murders from occurring. But we're just asking the young men to put down their weapons, and let's see if we can resolve conflict. We continue to go after the drug peddlers within our communities where you see the uprise. We continue to go after those same individuals that are wanted. The offices are empty. At some point you will see my executive team. They are on the street as well. We're going to clear house. We're also reaching out to our reserve officers who are assisting across the board, and even our law enforcement partners, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, who continue to assist us.
The commissioner gives this message to persons who may be afraid to leave their homes because of the uptick in murders and armed robberies.
As I continue to say, the murders that are occurring, the individuals know their target. I just want Bahamian people to know, and if you have families, loved ones that are involved in the life of crime, turn them into the police. You can't hang with them because you will become a potential target. Robbery says we continue, you got to follow our safety tips. It will be random robberies, but you have to be aware and continue to be aware of your surroundings.
Now, while Prime Minister Philip Davis acknowledges that there has been an increase in crime, he says he does not believe it will result in a fallout in the tourism sector, insisting that it is a contained issue. The Prime Minister's comments to reporters on Monday echo those similar to Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez. The Prime Minister comments come on the heels of the United States government reissuing a Bahamas travel advisory as a level 2, advising its residents of widespread violence and organized crime in the country, noting that local law enforcement may have limited ability to respond to serious crimes. For JCN News, I'm Destiny Johnson.
National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says he and Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez are looking at every policeman having a firearm. When asked his plans in preventing a record number of murders this year, Minister Monroe explains that many of the murders are gang-related, argument-related, or domestic violence. He says he will be meeting with Chief Magistrate in the Magistrates Court this coming week about expediting the judicial process.
We will be meeting, and the Commissioner has expressed when he was sworn in that we wish to have firearms matters tried within 2 weeks of the person being arraigned. The police control the process of most of the witnesses being police officers. I've been assured that the firearms can be examined within that period to meet that performance deadline, and we're going to discuss that happening.
As for how the magistrates will be able to handle the expedited process considering the already high number of matters they deal with daily, Minister Monroe has this to say.
I acted as a stipendiary circuit magistrate for I think it was 2.5 years. I act as a Supreme Court judge in the criminal division for a quarter, and so I have my outlooks, my suggestions that I will be sharing with the Chief Magistrate, the Chief Justice, based on my experience of serving as a magistrate and as a Supreme Court trial judge in the criminal division.
He encourages the public to help as much as they can in this crime fight. Meantime, active investigations continue into a double shooting off Robinson Road on Monday afternoon. Police say around 3 p.m. on the holiday Monday, a group of men were at a social gathering at the rear of a residence on Florida Court off Robinson Road when the 32-year-old man, who was allegedly armed with a handgun, got into an altercation with one of the men attending the social. It is reported that the men wrestled for the weapon, which resulted in the 32-year-old being shot in the upper body. He was transported to hospital via a private vehicle where he is detained in stable condition. The second male, a 23-year-old of Eastern New Providence, was grazed to the upper body and refused medical treatment. Police did not recover the weapon used in this incident. And finally, in this segment, 3 men and 3 women are in custody today following a drug bust on Abaco, following a joint operation between police on Grand Bahama and Abaco, who were acting on intelligence, resulting in the seizure of over $3 million worth of suspected drugs, along with a number of illegal firearms. Police Press Liaison Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings briefing reporters on Saturday evening with more details into this matter, dubbed Operation Restoration.
Okay, so what's happening this afternoon? Earlier today, Grand Bahama press officer would have sent out a release with regards to a joint operation that was held in Abaco for the past few weeks. However, yesterday they were able to zero in and they were able to arrest 6 people, 3 males and 3 females. They were also able to confiscate an estimated 120 bales of marijuana, an estimated 2 kilos of cocaine, along with firearms. And so we are actively investigating, and as additional information becomes available, we will update you accordingly.
This incident took place at a business establishment on Sherland-Boodle Highway in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Upon arrival, officers met 3 adult males and 3 adult females on the premises. While checking several derelict vehicles in a bushy area at the rear of the property and a white caravan, 120 bales of suspected marijuana along with 5 pounds of suspected cocaine was found. Additionally, upon further checks of the vehicle, a high-powered rifle and 2 pistols along with a quantity of ammunition was discovered. The 6 in custody include 3 Bahamian females between the ages of 19 and 23, 2 Bahamian males ages 17 and 59, along with a 32-year-old Haitian male. The suspects have been flown to the capital as the investigations continue. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.
Marlin Marine and Generac have the standby generator that fits your needs. Conserve power by using only 1 or 2 circuits during an outage with our 7.5 kilowatt, or manage your power usage with our 10 to 16 kilowatt standby. But why only power part of the house? Get whole house protection with our 20 kilowatt Generac standby and never lose power again. Give us a call at 393-7873 and get the right unit for you. Marlin Marine, giving you power on land and sea.
Did you know that registering your farm with the Department of Agriculture is currently free of charge? It comes with a wide range of benefits, such as assistance with feeder farm roads, land clearing and tractor services, assistance with Department of Immigration for obtaining foreign farm labor at a reduced permit fee, access to fish and farm stores for agricultural input supplies, sale of produce at packing house, produce exchange, abattoir services at a reduced price, training at the food technology laboratories, disaster relief assistance, and free veterinary extension services. For more information on any of these incentives, please call the Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs at 397-7400. That's 397-7400. For additional updates, you can follow the ministry on social media at MOAMRFIA Bahamas.
Now, I know I've said it before, but this time, I swear it's different. Grammy dreamed about this number, so I won't lose. I can't lose. This is my last time. Please, son, just give me one more chance. I'll give it all back to you.
Excessive gaming affects more than just the gamer. This message has been brought to you by the Gaming Board for the Bahamas, which encourages you to game responsibly.